Hello everyone, my name is Marty M. Fonke and this is Midweek Momentum. Today is Q A day, so it's a kind of a hodgepodge of topics. It's not our normal one topic per week type of deal. We're going to actually cover a bunch of topics that are questions that our audience has submitted either in advance or maybe asking live on today's webinar. So we'd like to thank you for participating live if you're here, and if you're listening to the recording, we thank you for checking out this recording. Again, my name is Marty M. Fonke, and this is Midweek Momentum, and we get together just about every Wednesday to discuss ideas, strategies, and tactics to propel your business forward. So first of all, we're going to get to some audience questions. First question that I've got is came in from Denise, and Denise said, I want to get traffic to my website with search engines. What's the best way to do that? And what's the difference between SEO and PPC? And those are all really, really good questions. So my response is this. Search engines are a highly, highly effective way of getting traffic to your website, and it's generally the best converting traffic, because people who find your website from a search engine are in a mindset of seeking something. They're seeking an answer to a question, or they're seeking a solution to a problem they have, and they tend to convert really, really well. So search engine marketing is still a very powerful way of marketing and driving traffic to the search engines. For those of you who know me well, you probably know that the social media is a huge topic that we work with our clients on, and I speak on around the country to different audiences. And also affiliate marketing is a huge area that we work on. And I'm actually on the board of the Affiliate Summit, which is the largest affiliate marketing conference in the world. And I've been doing affiliate marketing since 2001, and at one time had 27,000 affiliates in a program I was running, doing over $1 million a month. So you would think that with that kind of background, that social media and affiliate marketing would be our primary traffic drivers for our projects and our clients' projects, but the reality is search engines are still number one. So believe it or not, all the energy and all the time we all put into Facebook and Twitter and affiliate marketing and et cetera, and search engines, for the most part, there are a couple of small exceptions, but for the most part are still number one. So it's very critical. Now, what's the best way to do that was Denise's question, and there are two ways of getting search engine traffic. One is SEO, or search engine optimization, also known as organic search. And the other one is PPC, which is also called pay-per-click or paid search. And let me just show you a really quick example of the difference there. Now, I know that Denise, she told me in asking her question that she has a dog training product. So we're going to use Denise's keywords to answer this question a little bit. So here's dog training. If you're looking at your screen, I've done a quick search on Google for dog training. And the difference between pay-per-click and organic is this. The top results right here, these three links up here that are in sort of a pinkish box, and all the results will be here on the right-hand side. Those are all paid results. Someone has paid to be placed there front and center, right in front of somebody who is seeking, doing a search on that particular keyword phrase. So you can pay Google and be on right at the top of the search engines instantly. Now, there was a time this was an easy thing to do, and it was an inexpensive thing to do. Today, it's much more difficult, and I no longer recommend people do this on their own. There was a time that I'd say, oh, you can go and open a Google account, start with like $50 and test and tweak and make it work on your own. Those days are kind of over. It's ultra competitive now. You need someone who really knows what they're doing and who is using some sophisticated software to do research and algorithms of the different search terms. And it's not something I recommend anybody do on their own. I don't even do it on my own. I hire it out to really, really smart people. And but it's a great way to do it, because you can be up and running on the search engine instantly. You are reaching an audience that is laser targeted right to your search terms. And if you do it right, the money that you spend on advertising will be returned in the transaction income that you'll receive from the traffic that comes. So that's your objective with PPC, or pay per click. Now, the other way to get on a search engine is through organic search, or SEO, and that is anything below the pink box, starting on the first page and going on for thousands and thousands of pages beyond that. People who have managed to get at the top of the organic search listings are using different strategies that bring them traffic for the same search terms and bring them that traffic organically, meaning they are not paying to be listed high up on this page. Or let me rephrase that. They're not paying Google to be listed high up on this search page. They probably are paying somebody, or some way paying to be there through energy, time, effort, and expertise, because getting to the top of the search engines organically is both an art and a science that it does take some time to master. There are some things you can do to bolster your results to get higher up there: content strategies, tagging strategies, linking strategies, lots of other things. We're not going to get into all of that today, but the benefit of search engine optimization, or organic, is that you pay now, and it does take a while to get listed. It can take up to 6 months, actually, to get listed. But once you're in the top results, maintaining that is much simpler and less expensive long term. So if you want immediate, quick fix, want to be on the search engines now, do pay-per-click, and you're there. As soon as you stop paying, you'll drop back off. If you want long-term, lasting results, then do search engine optimization. That is going to get you there with long-term results. So I hope that answers your question, Denise, about the best ways to use search engines to drive traffic and what the difference is between organic, or SEO, and PPC search. Okay, next question. What kind of words do you suggest I use when inviting people to like my Facebook page? Well, that's a great question. That's a common one. I get a lot of people who start Facebook pages, and unfortunately, they don't get a lot of people who like their pages, and so they tend to have kind of low numbers. And one thing I've found with Facebook pages is that 300 has been kind of the magic number. If you have less than 300 people who like your page, you probably aren't getting a lot of good interaction and momentum with regard to the conversations that are taking place, etc. So you want to get at least 300 on your Facebook page. And what are some of the ways to do that? Well, the question that specifically was asked to me, this was Kelly that asked this question. So what kind of words do you suggest I use when inviting people to like? Well, the first thing I would say is just a simple ask. Will you like my Facebook page, or will you please like my Facebook page? A lot of people don't even ask. So are you promoting your Facebook page to your prospects and customers? And by the way, if you ask them to like your page, please give them the direct URL to your page. Do not make them search for it. I've been seeing this more and more, where somebody goes, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook, but then they don't tell you what their name is on Twitter or what their page name is on Facebook, and you couldn't find them if you tried. Huge mistake. So you can be way ahead of the competition if you provide them the link to do what you're asking them to do. So if you ask them to like your business page, then give them the URL to your business page so they can click on it and click like in 2 steps and be out of there. Now, the second way I like to do Facebook page requests is a request with a promise. So, for example, you could say, for mine, I would say, please like my business page for great ideas on how to grow your business. So now, instead of just saying, please like my page, and not giving the person a reason to like it, I'm giving them a reason. Please like it for great business ideas and marketing tools, or something along those lines. So give them a promise. Now, there's a third way of doing it, and the third way is dangerous, because if you do it wrong, you can get kicked off of Facebook. All right? If you do it right, it can be very effective. And that is essentially buying likes by offering an incentive. So, for example, you could say, I'll give a $25 Amazon gift card to anyone who likes my page between, in the next 30 days, a random drawing. We've used that really effectively, and we've never been slapped by Facebook for doing it. However, I did learn this week that it's technically against Facebook's terms and conditions, and they can shut us down for it. So it's a great strategy. It could be risky. If you are wondering about that particular strategy or other terms and conditions about Facebook pages, there's a really important article you need to read. It's the last one that I posted on my Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/MartyGrowsYourBusiness. And here it is. It's called Facebook Page Admins Beware, What You Cannot Do on Facebook. Please read that. So Kelly, you can listen to the advice I just gave you. The first two I know are clean. The third one's a little risky, but there are other issues you should be aware of. So please go to my Facebook page at facebook.com/MartyGrowsYourBusiness. Find the top posting on there, which is the Facebook Page Admins Beware, What You Cannot Do on Facebook. Click on that, read it, and then please share it with others and comment on my Facebook page as well. So, but there's some ideas right there. All right, we're screaming right along. We're about halfway through. I've still got a few questions to cover. So a whole bunch of you come on late. Thank you for coming on board today with Midweek Momentum. Yes, I'm calling you out for being late. If you're here on time, you'll get a lot more information, so please make sure you make it on time in the future if you can. But either way, I really appreciate you being here no matter what. I am recording today's session and planning to post it on Facebook, or excuse me, on, what's that place called? YouTube. Thank you. And so if you missed the first couple of questions that I answered, you should be able to get some answers there. And for those of you who came on late, just kind of giving you a hard time. So I hope you're smiling, because I'm smiling too. All right, next question that came in, and let's see here. This question comes in from Beth, and Beth says, what is the best autoresponder system to use? This is a question I get quite a bit. I may actually dedicate a future Midweek Momentum just to that question, because it's pretty complex. But let me give you my simple answer, okay? If you are a brick and mortar business and you don't sell a lot of things online, but you want to have a good email list to follow up with your prospects and customers, which you should have, or maybe you have a newsletter, and a good quality system that has great customer service and low incidence of being caught in spam filters, Constant Contact is one that I definitely recommend, and you can see that on your screen right now at ConstantContact.com. I know a lot of people who use that with really, really wonderful results. Now, if you're an online marketer and you have more of an internet-related business and you want to use autoresponders and you're doing a lot of list segmentation and you're really more of a marketing marketing mindset type person, then I recommend another system called Aweber, and you can see that on your screen at aweber.com. Aweber is, again, it's a very good system. It'll do everything that you want it to do, lots and lots of bells and whistles, really effective for reaching out to your customers, segmenting them, creating drip campaigns that allow you to market and promote to prospects and turn them into customers, etc. So Aweber is another really, really good choice. Now, if you are an e-commerce business, which means that you specifically sell your products or services online, let's say you sell, handmade widgets, or you sell, fitness videos or dog training videos or whatever you sell, and you're primarily an e-commerce business, then I generally recommend that you use a system that has an integrated autoresponder with the shopping cart. And the reason for that is because there's some benefits to doing so with regard to, for example, if you're using an integrated system and you want to send a message only to people who've never bought your product, or let's say you want to send a message to people who bought one type of product that you produce, but you want to upsell them to another type of product, or let's say you want to have somebody who's on your prospect list, and once they actually buy from you, you want to move them from being a prospect, which is getting one type of email, over to a customer, which is getting another type of email. If you want to get that sophisticated, I generally recommend you use an integrated autoresponder and shopping cart system There are a couple out there. One that I use to this day, it's been around for quite a while. Some people are saying it's a little bit kind of getting a little outdated compared to the competition, which may be true, but I'll tell you the reason why I still use it in just a moment. It's called One Shopping Cart. And One Shopping Cart is probably the #1 e-commerce / marketing tool / autoresponder tool that online e-commerce marketers use. That's a fully integrated system. It does everything I needed it to do. I've been using it now for 7 years. My goodness, I've been doing this a long time. And it's priced competitively. It does everything that I want it to do, and it's relatively simple to use, so that you don't need to pay a high-powered, high-priced web designer or developer to build it out for you. Now, if you decide you want to use One Shopping Cart for any reason, I am an affiliate of One Shopping Cart, and I do offer free coaching if you sign up through me. If you sign up in the Pro program, which is about $129 a month in One Shopping Cart, you will get an hour of my coaching, which is worth up to $450. So, and it doesn't cost you any more. So just throw it out there. If you are thinking about One Shopping Cart, contact me directly, and I can tell you more about the benefits of it and give you some free coaching as well. That is of benefit to you. Now, another great shopping cart / full-on communication, e-commerce system, etc. That's really, it's kind of the latest, greatest, top-of-the-line system that your top marketers are using. It's called Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft is amazing. It does stuff that One Shopping Cart haven't even thought of yet. That's the upside. The downside is it's expensive, it's difficult to use, and unless you are a computer programmer by nature, you probably will have to hire somebody to integrate it and maintain it. So what I generally recommend people do is, if you are starting out in that realm, you start with One Shopping Cart and grow it until grow your online business until you outgrow it, and then switch to Infusionsoft, because then you'll have the revenue to justify the cost. Because One Shopping Cart, like I said, it's like $129 to get started. Infusionsoft is going to be a couple grand to get started, not counting integration costs and the fees from your people that you're going to have to hire to get you up and running. So it's a wonderful system. It's absolutely amazing. It's probably the best possible system out there. But you don't want to start out with that system probably day one, unless you've got a pretty sizable budget and realistic expectations of rapid growth from this day forward. So those are my thoughts about autoresponder systems. I talked about Constant Contact, I talked about Aweber, I talked about One Shopping Cart, and I talked about Infusionsoft. So Beth, I hope that answered your question. Oh, okay, I'm going as fast as I can. Okay, one last pre-submitted question I'll jump into, and then please, for those of you in the live audience, feel free to ask your questions now if you want to either raise your hand or submit your questions via the text chat feature. Now would be a time to get those in so that I can gauge how much time I've got left and how fast I have to talk. So the last question that came in, let's see. Oh, I didn't write down I didn't copy over the name of who submitted this question. Sorry about that. But the question she asked was, what systems do you use to conduct paid webinars? So I'm assuming you're on the call with us today because you said you were going to be to get the answer. Apologize if I didn't copy over your name when I was copying my list of questions over. So what systems do I use for paid webinars? Now, that's a great question. For free webinars, you obviously know what I use because you're on it right now, which is GoToMeeting. And GoToMeeting is pretty good. I use it because it's simple to use, it's reasonably reliable, and it's fairly inexpensive compared to the competition, especially for frequently occurring events like Midweek Momentum and others. For paid webinars, we use a couple of different systems, and it kind of depends on the client needs, and even more importantly, it depends on the audience. Some audiences are more of a GoToMeeting kind of audience, which is usually more of a consumer audience or a small business audience. And if I'm working on a project that's a corporate audience, we generally go with WebEx. They tend to have a higher penetration of their plug-in already installed behind the firewalls. So we generally do WebEx, or we'll do Adobe. Now, I know one of your sub-questions was, how do we get the money and integrate those two things together? There are a couple different ways to do it. We use one shopping cart for some of those, and we integrate one shopping cart into the webinar software. So we'll set up a one shopping cart purchase page. Once the transaction is complete, it then redirects the visitor, or the customer at that point, over to the final webinar login page, which may be on GoToWebinar, it may be on WebEx. And we also use Eventbrite, eventbrite.com, and I didn't pull that up on the screen. I'll pull that up right now. Eventbrite.com is a pretty handy little tool for doing paid event registrations, and you can use them for live physical events as well as virtual events. And they'll actually handle the payment processing and all that good stuff. So you're basically selling tickets. I don't love the Eventbrite system as far as its kind of ease of use, because it's really designed more for physical events rather than webinars. So they talk in terms of tickets, and they have things you got to print off, and it's a little bit of a jerry-rigged system, but I have used it quite successfully. Other people have used it quite successfully, and it can be a good way to sell tickets or seats to a paid webinar. And then on the back end, you either redirect to the webinar registration page, and the consumer types in their final name and address, or name and email one more time to get the webinar access. Or what we do, we actually have a script that can go and write that. There isn't any kind of plug-and-play option that just says, here you go, you're registered, you're already set up in the webinar system. For some reason, GoToMeeting and WebEx both have made it kind of a pain to do that. So we've actually had to go and write a custom script to do that. It extracts the information out of the registration and then puts it into a template and registers somebody for the webinar. So because it's two different things. You've got your payment system, and then you've got your actual webinar control system. So that's how we do it. Not too terribly difficult. When you're dealing with paid events that people are forking over hard-earned money, though, you do want to make sure that all your ducks in a row. You want to make sure that you test the system all the way through. Whip out your own credit card, buy your own product or service, and make sure that everything is proper. I found a lot of people that will set up a payment transaction campaign and then not actually ever run a payment through, and then they find out there's some big problem because they never did it. Just test it all the way through. So that's really, really important. Okay, so that is that question. And let's see, what other questions do we have pre-submitted? Let's see, we covered search engines, we covered PPC versus SEO, we covered Facebook pages, we covered autoresponders, and we covered webinar systems. Okay, so with that, I covered all the questions that I promised people before today's event that we'd get to. So if you are here live and you've got a question, or you want to come on the line and brainstorm or get some coaching, now would be the time to do it. We generally try and keep Midweek Momentum to about 30 minutes, but we will go longer if we need to. I always want to make sure I'm serving you, my loyal listeners. So we're not on a hard deadline. There's not something else that takes place immediately afterwards. So not like on a radio show or something like that. So if you do have a question, please feel free to answer it. And if not, or excuse me, please feel free to ask it. I guess I would be the one answering it. And if not, then we will probably get ready to wrap things up, as we're just about to the bottom of the hour. I hope you got some good stuff out of today's session. I know I was talking really, really fast, but I knew that historically I'm only able to cover about 5 or 6 questions at the most in a 30-minute period, so I wanted to make sure I got all of them covered before we had to wrap things up. The last call for questions, and if everybody's good, hopefully we'll be able to wrap up. And thank you very much, Robin, for your kind words. Didn't submit a question, but submitted just a nice comment. So appreciate that, and you are always appreciated as well. I appreciate my loyal listeners who are here every single week. But I also appreciate you who are brand new this week. I do see a lot of brand new names. Looks like the best way to get more people on Midweek Momentum is for me to take a week off, because I think I had more people sign up in the last 2 weeks than I do when I keep things going consistently. So for you who are brand new, thank you very much for being here. Once again, we did do this a little different. We normally have a content piece at the beginning and then go right to Q&A. Today we went to Q&A immediately just because we had so many questions that were already submitted. But we'll be right back to the old way next week. And if you have a suggestion for a topic that you want to make sure we cover on Midweek Momentum, and it can even be a topic we've covered before, but you want us to expand on it or maybe have me bring in an expert on it, please feel free to submit that. Just send me a quick email to marty@fonke.com, and I'll do my best to make sure we're covering the topics that are most important to you. With that, we're going to wrap things up for the day. Thank you again for joining me. My name again is Marty M. Fonke. Today it was Midweek Momentum, ideas, strategies, and tactics to propel your business forward. We get together just about every Wednesday afternoon at midweekmomentum.com. Have a fantastic